The art is not in making money, but in keeping it. I heard this quote a while back, and I honestly think it's so true because I've seen countless people make crazy amounts of money and lose it as fast as it came in. And I've been guilty of this as well. After being a full-time entrepreneur for almost 10 years, I've had many ups and downs financially. I made lots of money at a young age and spent it recklessly, and I've even been over $20,000 in debt. But now, after learning from my past experiences, my spending habits have improved drastically. In this video, I'll be sharing exactly how I spend my $100,000 monthly income and why I actually barely spend any of it at all. If you're new here, my name's Jordan, and I'm currently documenting the entire process of building my online business with as much transparency as possible. So if you're interested in making money online and you want to follow my journey, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for new videos every single Friday. All right, so let's begin with 3 simple financial rules that I follow that completely transformed my financial situation. The first principle that I follow in my personal spending habits is living below my means. With the income that I have right now, I could go get an exotic, I could go live in some crazy penthouse apartment, but I keep my life very simple, and this actually makes me much happier. I know one too many people that are out here rich, making good money online, but literally living paycheck to paycheck.
Damn,
Some slight.
all that jewelry and money and you got dirty dishes, huh?
Yes, you might make $40,000 a month online, but that exotic car you have, that penthouse, those expensive dinners, the nights at the club, that's gonna cost you around $35,000 to $40,000 a month. It's just a very unsustainable lifestyle to live with your expenses right at the level of the income you're bringing in. Now, I know for some of you out there, it's very difficult to live below your means because all the money that you make has to go to rent, car payments, and food. But the truth of the matter is, if you can't get creative and figure out a way to put back a small percentage of your income, it's going to be really difficult to make any type of investments that are going to change your life, like starting a business, building up an investment portfolio, or just having that safety net to live with more freedom. So the first rule that I follow is living below my means. So the second rule is one that I learned at a very young age, but only started applying in the last 2 years. When I was 16 years old, I read this book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And one of the main concepts that the author talks about is paying yourself first. Now, at that age, I didn't fully understand what he meant by that because I wasn't running a profitable business. My business was unprofitable and I couldn't possibly see any way to pay myself because it wasn't making any money. And then when I finally did start making money, I had a really hard time taking money out of the business account and paying it into my personal account. For some reason, I would feel guilty about this and just keep all the money in the business. First off, you don't build up any personal financial freedom. You're not gonna have any savings, you're not gonna have any investments or any personal money that you can use. This applies to people who have a 9-to-5 job as well. When you get your paycheck, it's very important to take a percentage of that, whether that be 10, 20, 30%, and put that back into your savings or your investment account. Otherwise, you're going to end up spending all that money and you're gonna be forced to live paycheck to paycheck. Now, it might seem hard, but if you set a strict rule for yourself to say, I'm gonna pay myself 10% out of every single one of my paychecks and put it into my savings or investment account, you're gonna learn how to stretch that 90% and use that for your living expenses. So I set a rule for exactly how much to pay myself out of my business and exactly how much I'm gonna invest each month. And the last rule that I follow is to build out an emergency fund of 12 months and invest the rest of the money. Cash sitting in a bank account is pretty much dead money. You get no interest on it, it doesn't grow, and it's not working for you at all. It's very good to have at least 6 months in cash for savings and emergency purposes, but other than that, your money is much better off in investment accounts. So those are the 3 simple rules that I follow when it comes to spending my money. So now I want to break down exactly how much money I spend on my business and my personal life. We're going to start with the business so you can see exactly how much money it costs to run an operation like this, and then we'll get into the personal. So let's head over to my living room and break this down. So I think it makes the most sense to separate my business and personal because the money I spend on my business is an investment and it's typically going to make me more money. So to be honest, it doesn't really cost that much to run a YouTube channel. Last month, my YouTube channel brought in around $28,000 in revenue from ads. In terms of how much I spent, it's really not that much. I pay a good friend of mine around $500 a month to help me with chopping up these videos, so it makes the editing process way easier. And every month I usually buy some new camera equipment. Like last month I bought these studio lights and also a monitor for my camera, which was around $300. So on average I spent around $800 a month on my YouTube channel, and last month it brought in over $27,000 in profit. Now next up we have my software Viral Vault, which is a little bit more expensive to run because I have a team of 7 employees and it's a software which requires maintenance and server costs. So last month, Viral Vault brought in around $82,000 in sales. To run this business, it cost me around $12,000 to pay my employees. I paid out around $5,000 to our affiliates, the people that promote our products. I pay around $2,000 to my developers just to maintain and keep the software running smoothly. And I spend about $150 on the server costs. All in all, the total cost for this business each month is around $19,000. And the profit that we brought in last month was over $63K. Now, my last business is my e-commerce company. This is the business that I see having the most long-term potential because my goal is to actually sell this brand next year. So last month, my e-commerce brand brought in around $85,000 in sales. To run that business, I paid my team around $3,000 last month. To pay for every product and have it shipped out, we paid $26,549. To promote the product with ads and influencers, I paid $45,083. So the total cost to run this business is $73,208 to bring in a profit of $10,411. Now, to be fair, that's one of the worst months I've had with that store. On average, we bring in around $25,000 to $30,000 in profit each month. But I share the wins and the losses with you guys because I like to keep it real. So last month, my total monthly profit was $101,311. Now you might be thinking, with that income, I'm out here balling, going to the club, spending money on supercars, but that's not how I live my life. For my personal expenses, I give myself a strict budget of $5,000 a month. And that includes my rent, my insurance, my car payment, my food, everything that it costs to live my life is under $5,000 a month. I've had times where I was spending over 30 G's a month in my personal life, having fun, buying clothes, partying. But to be honest with you, I'm much happier with my situation now than I was back then. I think since I had a personal brand, I was spending a lot of money trying to prove that I had it like that. But it's a losing game because the people that really have a lot of money don't usually spend it like that, and you end up just looking kind of foolish. And once I started to surround myself with those people, I started to really see the difference between those that really had it and the people that were trying to show that they had it. And that's when I made this change. So my three biggest personal expenses are my rent, my car, and the money that I spend on food. So when I was living in Los Angeles, I had an apartment that cost me around $3,200 a month to live in. When I decided that I was going to move to Miami, my goal was to find a much bigger place at a much lower price. And I actually did that. My apartment that I live in now is a 1-bedroom with an office, living room, bathroom, backyard, and it only cost me $1,950 a month. And that's including everything: water, electric, internet. Honestly, I got a great deal on this place. Now for my car, I actually have a 2018 Lexus IS 300. Is it the fastest car in the world? No, but for me, I actually like it. It's comfortable, it's reliable, I haven't had any maintenance issues with it, and I actually decided to lease this car under my business. So I do use a portion of the car for my personal life, so I write off half the car as a business expense and the other half I pay for. Personally, I pay around $330 a month for my car. For the car insurance, I pay around $134 a month. With the crazy gas prices we got right now, I've been spending around $60 a month on gas. And living in Miami, there's tolls everywhere and you have to pay to park in literally every place, so I spend about $100 on that as well. All in all, I spend a little less than $1,000 a month on my car, but to me, it's worth it. Though, knowing what I know now, the next car I purchase will not be a lease. I believe the smartest way to buy a car is to buy a used car that has already depreciated over the last couple years from a private party. You're just going to be able to negotiate and get the best deal that way. You can also sell the car at the end to recoup most of your money, so it's pretty much a no-brainer to buy cars that way instead. But I got the Lexus when I was 19 years old. I just wanted to get a car and it seemed like a good deal, so I went for it. Now, I think my most ridiculous expense is with restaurants. Admittedly, I spend about $1,000 a month on going out to eat. Now, I know that the financial gurus are gonna hate me for that one, but it's one of the things that I enjoyed the most about life. I've been on a plant-based diet for over 4 years now, and I'm constantly looking for the best vegan restaurants everywhere that I go. And in Miami, there's a ton of them, so I'm a regular at most of the biggest plant-based restaurants in Miami. Not to mention, I love taking my friends out, enjoying a nice dinner. After working inside all day, it's one of my favorite things to do at the end of the day. I eat out for probably 80% of my meals, but for the other 20%, I make it at home. So because of that, I spend around $300 a month on groceries. Now, I don't really shop around for the cheapest brands. I'm usually looking for the best quality organic products because you only get one body and you have to take care of it. And then for my health insurance, it's only like 125 bucks a month. And I also have another category that I wrote down here, which is $500 a month on other stuff, like my phone bill, fun times with my friends, clothes, or gifts for my friends or family. I give out gifts all the time. I just think it's really fun to do, and I always like to help out and give back to my friends. So in total, I spend around $4,439 a month, which leaves me with an extra amount of money left over in my budget. And that's pretty much all that I spend my money on. As you can see, I live a pretty simple life. I rock black t-shirts almost every single day. I don't drive a crazy exotic car, and I don't live in a super luxurious apartment. Though I love my life and I'm grateful for what I have, and I wake up every day feeling blessed. Will there be a time where I splurge on an exotic car or a nice house? Definitely. But I think right now is not that time. I'm in a mode where I want to invest all my money back into my business, back into my investments, so that I can grow. And when it is the time to purchase those things, I can do it without a second thought. There is something that I left out, and that is the money that I put up into my investment accounts. Currently, I'm investing over $20,000 a month into my index fund portfolio and Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you guys want to hear more about my investments and how I've built up this portfolio, let me know in the comments down below. But that's pretty much it. I wanted to give you guys an inside look into how I spend my money and share some of these important lessons that I learned along the way. So if you like this video, make sure to smash the like button and hit that subscribe button down below. And I'll see you guys in my next video. I drop videos every single Friday, so stay tuned for the next drop. I hope you have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Peace.
I'm getting ripped tonight.